tal amigos de Oxígeno? ¿Cómo están? Para nosotros siempre es un placer poder conversar con las grandes estrellas del rock que nos van a visitar. Y este es el caso de Marc Martel, la voz de Freddie Mercury en Bohemian Rhapsody. Va a estar con nosotros en Lima y ha tenido la gentileza de conversar con nosotros unos minutos también, ¿no? Hi Mark, how are you doing? Good to see
I'm
you.
I'm good. It's good to see you again. I now I remember Radio Oxigeno.
Yes, yeah, thank you very much. Here in Lima, lots of people are very happy because of your new show.
Yes, indeed. We had such a great time in Lima last time, and we are honored to be invited back so soon.
What memories do you have of your previous visit to Lima?
It was actually an unforgettable experience, but probably not in the way you would expect. We had some travel papers difficulty going
No.
from Lima to Santiago. And so we weren't sure if we were going to be able to get the whole band across the border into Chile. And so just in case, my guitarist and I prepared an entire show that we could just do just the two of us. And
Wow.
so we practiced for many hours in the hotel in Lima because we had never done this before. And sure enough, most of the band was not able to get into Chile. It was one of the most challenging things I've ever
Yeah.
done as a musician, but we were able to do it. We were able to do a big show in Santiago for 10,000 people, just two musicians, and we had a really memorable time. So my memories of Lima have a lot to do with Santiago, but I also remember that the food was incredible. The restaurant we ate at had an incredible ceviche that I had not once, but twice.
Yeah. Well, the food is a very a good experience for everybody
Yeah,
who came here to Peru.
absolutely.
What feeling did the Peruvian people or the Peruvian public leave you when they listen to the Queen song live again?
Yeah, a lot of excitement. You know, you can sense that from the audience when they're excited and when they're not, obviously. It was there was so much good energy, and it was our first show
Mhm.
on our first South American tour. So we were, the reputation of people in South America, not to lump you all into one group. I know you're all very unique countries, but you do share this love for rock and roll that is legendary all across the world. You know, I've played the music of Queen in London. I've played
Mhm.
the music of Queen all over Europe and Asia, but this was our first time in South America, and the people of Lima made a huge impression on us. It was you're very loud, and we love that,
Yes,
and we
yes.
can't wait to do it again.
In a very specific songs or all of the show, all along the
Yeah, that's
show?
interesting because Queen is loved all over the world, but different songs are loved more depending on where you are. And
Yes.
you know, in particular, Love of My Life in Lima
Wow.
was very special. And I think I barely sang any words, if memory serves me well, at that show, because everyone knows all the words, and that's not the case here in the United States. You know, when I sing Love of My Life in the United States, I sing the whole song. And by the end of the song, some people are like, "Oh yeah, 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 I can sing along a little bit." But from the very get go in Peru, it's obvious that this song made a great impression on the people.
Yes, it's a Peruvian people is a very feeling people.
Yes, so
Um,
love and heartache is a big thing for you guys.
what another moments in the show where people feel most connected to the Queen's music, do you think?
You know, I do a moment in the show that is where I sing a song that is not a Queen song, and
Mm.
I do it in the style of Freddie Mercury, Ave Maria, and
Wow.
I always feel like that is a great connecting moment because it kind of brings to the surface this sadness that we have still uh, 30 years later after we lost Freddie Mercury,
Mhm.
that the world is missing a lot of incredible music because he died so young. And so, in tribute to that idea, I present to the audience one song that I'm fairly certain that he loved a lot, and but he never recorded it, and so I do it in his style.
Excellent. How difficult is it to build this show knowing the huge amount of Queen hits and how you order the set list?
Well, we've been doing this for quite a while. We've been doing this for over 10 years now. And for the first 5 or 6 years, I got to work with Roger Taylor and with Brian May and to really understand how to present this music effectively, the way that Queen does it, right? And to keep the momentum and the energy going, and to know when to have a quiet moment. Not too many quiet moments, because people like to have fun, right? But the way that we've chosen the songs, we know which songs work and which songs work not as well.
Okay.
And when you do a Queen concert, there are many songs that you absolutely must play. And that only leaves room for 2 or 3 songs that you can choose just because you love them. And they're lesser known songs, but they're still great songs. I really love how the night flows. And usually we do it in 2 sections. We take a break in the middle just so that I can rest my voice, because it's such challenging music. It helps for me to rest for 15 minutes in the middle of the show just so I can have the energy to continue.
What is the most difficult song for you to sing?
Yeah, I get that question a lot. Usually I would say The Show Must Go On.
Wow.
Just because
it's a very high song.
It's high, and not just high, but it's almost like you're screaming in the chorus.
Mm-hmm.
And that, if I'm only singing that song, that's great. But if I'm singing that song in the middle of 22 other songs, it's very challenging. And so we haven't done that one for a while. We used to do it all the time. So that's one of the more challenging ones. Who Wants to Live Forever is another one that I only do every so often when I'm feeling very strong. And I know I don't have, a bunch of more shows coming up in the following days. So yeah, those are very challenging.
And is there any easy song to sing?
Oh, sure.
For you, what is the easier?
I mean, a lot of the songs are easy. I would say most of them, honestly. What would be the easiest? Probably, Crazy Little Thing Called Love is definitely the easiest.
Yes.
Yes, I use Crazy Little Thing Called Love to rest my voice.
Do you want to sing a piece of the song, of any other song?
Yeah, it's almost whispering.
Oh, okay.
This thing called love, I just can't handle it. This thing called love, and it doesn't get much more intense than that, So
yeah. Well, I have another question for you. What do you think is the secret of Freddie's voice that moves people so much?
He used all of it. He was a master of dynamics. Like, he would take a song like Crazy Little Thing Called Love, and I think a lot of people don't even realize that that's a Queen song, because he sounds so different in that song than a lot of the other big Queen hits.
Supposedly, Brian May hates that song.
Oh, really? I've never heard that, actually.
Supposedly, when he wrote the song, Brian May said, "What are you writing? This is a simple song. It's a rock and roll song. I don't like it."
That's exactly what it is. I mean, yes, Queen was known for very, very complicated music.
Yes.
Especially in the first few years as a band, they wrote very progressive. You never could tell where the song was going next, but Crazy Little Thing Called Love is the exact opposite of that. And I think Freddie Mercury was trying to write an Elvis song. And it was his tribute to the King. That's I forgot the question. What was the question there?
Yeah, the question was if do you think that it's a secret? Freddie had a secret in his voice.
Yeah. I mean, I think to his credit, Freddie Mercury got bored very easily. And so he did a lot to keep things interesting for himself. And in turn, that made it interesting for other people to listen because it was always changing. You know, he would do a song like, for example, I don't know if you're familiar with the song "I'm Going Slightly Mad," that he recorded, I think, on Innuendo. It's I think it's the lowest song he ever recorded, and it's almost too low for me to sing. So he used the whole range, not only notes, but his emotional range. He would go from just, he could go from very sad to very bombastic. He used all of his emotion.
It's like a roller coaster, no?
Exactly. Yeah.
What new things do you bring in this new show in Lima?
A couple new songs, which I'll keep secret. We have, we try to change up a few songs, just to keep it interesting for ourselves. But there's the thing about doing Queen's music is it's a limited catalog, and we can't write new music for it. So we're dependent on Queen's music, and we know that every show we do, even if we're coming back again for the second time to Lima, there's going to be a lot of new people there, and we understand that people expect to hear certain songs, many certain songs, in a Queen tribute show. So we do our best to please those people who are seeing us for the first time, but also keep it interesting for people who are coming back again. So yeah.
You're a musician, and I would like to do two more questions because you are an artist. What do you think about the use of artificial intelligence in music?
Wow, that's a good question. I didn't really believe that it would really become a problem until maybe 2 days ago. And I heard some songs that AI created for in the style of Drake.
Yes.
I think this one's going around the internet a lot, and it sounds exactly like a Drake song.
Exactly.
It doesn't sound like a great Drake song, but it sounds like a Drake song. And I think what AI will do a really good job at is to create the average sounding song. I don't know that it'll ever be able to create great songs because, if you think of the greatest song by any artist, it's usually the songs that stand out and are unique, and don't sound that much like their other music. Maybe that's not true. I don't know. I'm still in real time trying to understand how this is going to affect us.
Yes.
AI will never replace live music because you need actual people to do that, thankfully, and that's the bulk of what I do in my career. But I think it's going to become a real thing that I wouldn't be surprised if you start to hear AI generated music on the radio. That would not surprise me at this point. I think that there are going to have to be probably some new laws created to maybe mitigate this. It's all very new. Who knows?
Yeah, it's all very, exactly. It's all very new. And the last one, in addition to Freddie Mercury's, what are the three other rock voices that you like?
In the 90s, for me, that was Eddie Vedder of Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
And if you listen to my band Down Here, if you listen to our first two albums, you can hear a little bit like Eddie Vedder. A little bit of Eddie Vedder in there. And when I listen to that, I'm like, oh no, it's not me. It was me trying to change my voice into something that wasn't natural. And the strange thing is that when I sang just naturally, when I got over my Freddie Mercury, when I got over my Eddie Vedder stage, people just all automatically started to hear Freddie Mercury, but Freddie Mercury was not one of my influences. So that's how I come by it, honestly. Other voices, definitely George Michael in the 80s.
Wow, it's an amazing voice.
Yeah, he was my first.
Just one of my favorites too.
Absolutely love his voice. Another one that is a little bit less known is a singer by the name of Jeff Buckley, who really influenced me. And if you've never heard his music, it's so artistic and creative. And much like Freddie Mercury, he used just the full range of his voice.
Mark, thank you very much for your time. Please invite the Peruvian audience to your next show here in Lima, please.
Thank you, Alfredo. It's a pleasure speaking with you again, sir.
Yes, it's a pleasure.
Can't wait to come back.
Okay.
All right.
Ha sido Marc Martel, que va a estar en Lima próximamente en un One Vision of Queens con Marc Martel. No se lo pueden perder, es una experiencia fantástica. La voz de Freddie Mercury en la película Bohemian Rhapsody va a estar este jueves 4 de mayo en la sede Legado Videna. Jueves 4 de mayo en la sede Legado Videna. See you there, Marc. You are welcome to Peru again. It's going to be a pleasure for me to talk with you here.
Muchas gracias. Ciao for now.
Chao, chao.
Estás en Radio Oxígeno. En Radio Oxígeno respiramos buena música.